recognize those names. But here we are, about to go live. 30 seconds on the clock. Faction eSports against Lights Out. It's CEVO Season 4 for Battlefield 4. Last round of the regular season. Both of these teams undefeated, looking to carry this huge amount of momentum into the playoffs and assert themselves as the #1 team in the league. I think we're in for a barn burner here. Some high-level play from all 10 of these guys. Let's see which one of these guys rise to the forefront. The best of the best, so to speak. One of the best cheesy 80s movies I think I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Eric Roberts. But here's the breakout. Faction eSports on the U.S. side. Lights Out on the Chinese. Typical breakout for them. We're going 2 to A. Oh, actually, no, a little atypical. I thought they were going to go 3 mid, but it looks like 2 of them actually came up the ramp side. Let's go watch from Profuse's perspective. Again, this is Sickwith, and he does have a 6 shot. Of course, we already see that Faction is taking control of the Bravo and Charlie flags, which is typical on the breakout on Dawnbreaker when you're on the U.S. side. It's an easy breakout. Ooh, what a nice lurking shot on Really from way downtown from Profuse. Just kind of playing that connector spot, but he's actually going to be aggressive and push up on the C flag. But he's getting sandwiched already, and he goes down with a quickness. So that was a fruitless push by him. We switch over to Jack, who's kind of taking up Profuse's position in that connector. He's just taking pot shots at a peeking Faction player, and right now they've kind of dug themselves in. Let's take a look at the overview. Not a typical hold. Oh, and all of a sudden, just like that, 3 of Faction players go down off the board. So this is going to be an opportunistic moment for Lights Out to push up and take control of the Bravo flag and start to get on the burn themselves, as they're down by roughly 20 tickets here in the opening minutes of this first round of the only map of the evening, Dawnbreaker. It's a best of 3 rounds. And right now the kill board is pretty even, 5 and 4 for Faction, 6 and 5 for Lights Out. Profuse again, kind of playing that right side. He's actually in balcony. He's peeking out towards that upper B area, which is kind of a crucial point of control on the map. And right now, Factions is in control of that spot. Let's actually go to the overview camera and get kind of a good look at what's going on at that linchpin point, the Bravo flag. And just like that, we see 2 of the Faction players on the Bravo point go down. And this is interesting. We're seeing Faction try to commit to this upper B hold, but it's not really bearing fruit as far as Bravo control, because it looks like Lights Out has been able to get those up close and personal frags on the Bravo flag, as we're seeing a push from lower C towards Bravo from Faction. Really goes down. Let's watch from Chicken. He's going to try to get that res. Is he going to get it? He does get the revive. He's going to peek around the corner. He's reloading. Nice headshot on Jack, but gets caught from the pillars area. He goes down, but his teammate Really is there. Can he get the revive? He's going to have to... Oh, he gets a long distance res there. I don't know if that's a spectator glitch or what. And it looks like Jet actually positioned himself up in the lounge area. Gets a nice top kill, but over there at uprights, it's Profuse getting fragging. We see, it looks like Lights Out has still maintained control over A and B, which is kind of surprising, because that's not really well, I guess it is the stronghold on this map, but I would have thought that Faction would have perhaps tried to get behind these guys at this point, but they're kind of just butting their heads against the Bravo flag at this point, and Lights Out has been doing a nice job of holding off their advances as they've pulled out to a roughly 30-ticket lead here almost, and will be that shortly. Let's try to get into the action here, as we're seeing Chicken has actually picked up flag. Nades are out. Just kind of slow peeking, really not getting any kind of leverage onto these flags. They're finding... Oh, and here we go. This is what Faction needs to be doing. They're getting a couple through long A. They're on the burn. Oh, what a nice response from Front Wiper. On the rotate. Can he get the second? He does. And Profuse is there to clean things up. Beautiful rotate from Lights Out to shut down that that flank onto the A flag. And they still have control of A and B here. Faction, after getting the early breakout, roughly 20-ticket lead, which is kind of typical, has been stonewalled here so far by Lights Out after they took control of A and B. Nice kill by Unit on Winta. But we're seeing Bravo is being flashed by 1. It's Prince over here all on his lonesome for Faction. But 3 of Faction are up in the catwalk area. He's going to try to peek onto the street side, but he goes down to CEVO. And just like that, Lights Out action. Lights Out has maintained control of this Alpha Bravo hold, and they are looking really solid here in this first round. They've got themselves a 67 ticket lead at this point, and Faction is kind of reeling at this point because they're having a hard time competing with the gunpowder, it seems, of Lights Out, as we see the frag differential really changed in the past 3 or 4 minutes. 39 and 14 for Lights Out. Profuse going big at 13 and 4. CEVO 7 and 3. I mean, pretty much all of them have solid KDs, save for Winta. And Faction just cannot find an answer for the gunpowder of Lights Out at this point. They've tried a couple of different things to try to retake control of this burn, but nothing has worked, as it looks like Lights Out is probably going to jump out to a roughly 100 ticket lead here in this first round. And we see the first flip-flop of this game. The flip-flop of the flags. It's now a BC hold for Lights Out. Nice job of rotating when basically Faction zerged on to the A flag. We're seeing Chicken here on the upper side. Planters. They're trying to retake control of that upper B control so that they can try to leverage that to get control of B. But Lights Out is doing a nice job of contesting it. Prince goes down. Chicken trying to get another kill there, but Winta with the double. And Lights Out is just, again, the frag power a bit too much. 46 and 19, they continue the dominance on the gun front. We're watching from Jack holding connector. He knows one is lurking around the corner. And it seems like every time I go to a certain player, the action just shuts down. So I apologize, guys, if I'm not keeping with the action. Again, I am a little rusty, but interesting game so far. I thought it would have been a little bit closer here, particularly in the first round, but maybe a little bit of the first round jitters for Factions. They are down by almost 100 tickets here in the first round of this map. Lights Out just has their foot on the gas pedal. Oh, we're seeing a spawn bomb onto the A flag. But Profuse is there. He puts down one. That's Unit. But he knows another one is there lurking. He probably gets the revive. He hears it. Nade is out. He's actually going to try to hold this solo, it looks like. Let's take a look at the top down. Yeah, he's there by himself. 2 of them still lurking outside. He's got 1 teammate flanking. This is well played by Lights Out. And I think Faction is just taking too much time on this push. They had 2 people able to go at Profuse, and his gunpowder just had him running scared, as finally Chicken able to put Profuse down. They are going to take control of Alpha, and this is the first time since the breakout that Faction eSports has controlled 2 flags. So they really need to try to dig in now, as they are down by 100 tickets exactly 7.5 minutes into this game. We're seeing Unit picking up a rush kill on the A flag, but he goes down. It's a trade out. Lights Out doing a really nice job of playing off of each other. They have neutralized Alpha, and they are going to take C flag. Looks like Faction is in control of that important linchpin, that Bravo flag, but they're so spread out that they're going to have a hard time taking a second, as one goes down at Alpha, another goes down at the Bravo flag. But we do see Chicken. It looks like he is at statues on the C flag. He gets a spawn from a teammate. But just like that, Lights Out rotating into position, as you see there, onto the Bravo flag, setting up that line in the sand to prevent Faction eSports from breaking through. And we saw after they took control of AB early in this round that there was really, no chance. I mean, a little bit of a chance, but it took Faction a long time to break that hold, is what I'm trying to say. Lights Out did a nice job pouring in a little bit of a flank here from Winta, catching Chicken sleeping from behind. He's going for the reload, but still manages to get to kill. But a third man coming in for the trade out, perhaps going to get those couple of revives, and we're seeing another flank by Jack. He's going to put down, really? Puts down Prince, cannot get the third. It's Unit getting the trade out. But actually, reinforcements do arrive for Lights Out. It's Front Wiper and Winta. Winta goes down, but Front Wiper is there. He's got his shorty out. And they're just fleeing. The telltale music does start, and Lights Out looking to take this one with authority. The stat line in the frag department just too much for Lights Out for Faction to overcome this here in this first round. I mean, 132 ticket win. Again, tickets don't matter in the grand scheme of things as far as rounds, but when you lose by that kind of ticket number in the that ticket differential in the first round, you gotta be a little discouraged with your into the second round, especially when you had the easy breakout side. I mean, Faction did a nice job of taking Bravo and Charlie off of the breakout, but they didn't hold it for long. They got roughly a 20 ticket lead. Lights Out retook control of the Bravo flag and held it with the AB hold for, gosh, it was probably a good 5 minutes, and racked up, an 80 to 100 ticket lead. Faction did a nice, well, not necessarily a nice job. They eventually broke that hold and were able to try to make up some of the ticket differential that they had kind of dug for themselves at that point, but they just weren't able to. And you look at the stat line, every single one of the Lights Out players in double-digit frags, all of them positive. Had some good performances from some of the Faction players, particularly Unit going 17-7. Nice job by him. But we're going to have to see Faction perhaps employ a bit more Zerg tactics. Use numbers to your advantage, because I think it's clear at this point that you're probably going to get outgunned by the Lights Out players. You need to leverage teamwork and kind of trade outs playing off of each other to hopefully turn it into map control and the ticket burn. And we are not live for the second half of this map. Again, it is Lights Out versus Faction eSports. Both of these teams undefeated in Season 4 for CEVO. These guys looking to remain undefeated for their last match of the regular season before they go into playoffs. Both obviously playoff bound at 7-0. I mean, there's no question about that. But as I said before we started the stream, you really want to maintain that momentum and maintain your confidence going into playoffs. So you got to think that if the match concludes, or if this second round concludes similarly to the first one, Faction will be a little discouraged. Getting beaten so handedly by a Lights Out squad that just seems to have the superior gunpowder at this point. But we could see a shift in the match here in the second round. Crazier things have happened. I mean, both of these teams are at the top of the North American community, at least in the on the CEVO league. Obviously, at 7-0, undefeated, these guys know how to play some domination, but sometimes it just does come down to that raw gun skill when you're at this level and everyone's kind of playing similarly. You know the rotations, your positions, the typical retakes and holds. It just comes down to winning those one-on-one battles. And if you can't do that, like I said, you might need to employ a different tactic, like the Zerg tactic. Like I said, just send 3 men at one, hope to get those trade outs and utilize the revives to your advantage to get that wipe on a point so you can take the flag. And then I feel like since they haven't been able to really hold against Lights Out, they need to be a lot more aggressive this round. So that when they do have 2 flags, don't be content with that. Go for the third, just to keep Lights Out guessing, just to keep them off of you. So getting a little bit of the waves here. Let me switch the scoreboard. Here we go. We got Faction eSports up 1 round, or excuse me, not Factions. Oh my God, I'm sorry guys. Lights Out up 1 round, winning the first one by 132 tickets. And we'll see after they switch sides if Faction can recover. They're on the harder breakout side, but when you can ultimately get control of A and B, I think that's the better, stronger hold to have on this map. But we'll see as they go for a 5-man push onto A, sending Prince onto the long side planers, and just like that, Lights Out being extremely aggressive. Jack pushing up and getting the 2-piece, trades with Unit, but there's his teammate Winta to get the revive. And I really like this aggression from Lights Out. Put the boot on the throat. They took B and C, and they're immediately going for the triple cap, as it looks like Factions is getting caught on street side by planners, and they're going to get isolated on this side of the map. Oh, nope, they're getting the flip-flop spawns. Faction's taking advantage of the aggression of Lights Out to take that C flag, but the thing is, Lights Out knows that A and B is that easier hold. I mean, they held it for 80% of the previous round, so they are extremely comfortable with where they're at right now. Trying to isolate Faction onto that C side of the map and just burn them out. I'm seeing Faction Jet being a little bit aggressive. Coming up long A. Oh, they're on to him. That's CEVO, I believe. We're seeing Unit kind of lurking. He's going to look for the revive to hopefully make a go at this A flag. But actually, no, he's not going to go for the revive. Waiting for the spawn. He gets the spawn, and here we're going to see a push. And see, again, I think they're too slow. They're too tentative, and perhaps that is because of the superior gunpowder that we're seeing from the Lights Out team. Let's actually watch from Profuse's perspective. He actually has to go to Jet. He's lighting up the scoreboard right now at 6-0. We saw him being extremely aggressive on the breakout, pushing straight up to the same position onto the A flag. As we're seeing, Faction is getting the book and hold A and C, but well, now they haven't quite taken A. They can't seal it. Finally they do, but C is flashing. And while Profuse is lurking here on the A flag, oh, gets owned by the spot point. Poor Profuse, you gotta hate when that happens. So one flag apiece, A and C. Bravo up for grabs. And we're gonna see a push from Lights Out through connector as finally Faction is able to retake control, I should say, of that AB hold. They're down by roughly 30 tickets. We're seeing Jack again with the push on long A, but he goes down. His teammate Profuse is not far behind him, looking to get the trade out. He's going to go for the revive first, using his bait for a little bit. Whips out the pistol, does a little bit of damage. I cannot put him down, and that's a nice job by Unit to hold long A there against two really solid guns. Watch from CEVO, it gets templed in the side. That's Chicken with a nice double. Winta, meanwhile, is pushing up from street stairs. Profuse getting the spawn on him. There's a couple up at the pillars. It's Chicken. Good trade out by Winta. There's another one up on Catwalk. He's going to push into the Bravo flag, get the revive, but another one from Faction. That's really on the center of the site, getting a double kill. So nice job by Faction to hold this burn for probably a good minute now. Making up a little bit of that deficit. They're down by roughly 15 tickets. This is exactly where they need to be. They're holding off Lights Out, doing a good job of fragging. Certainly much better than they did last round. As Jet goes down, trade out to Chicken, but Winta is there. Cannot get the revive there. He knows one is lurking. It's Unit, and the fast peek headshot from Winta is going to win them the flag as his teammate Jet spawns on him, but Bravo's been taken. It looks like Faction is going to get isolated into B. This is not necessarily a good position for them to be in. They're going to try to fan out from here and try to take another flag. It looks like they're going for A. And Lights Out made short work of that. Chicken lurking on the center of flag B. He goes down. We could potentially see a triple cap from Lights Out. Now they are going to move in to the Bravo flag and take control of that, and wisely Faction rotates to pick up the C flag. But again, this is the stronghold for Lights Out. AB, they still have a 20-ticket lead. A lot closer than the previous round, but I don't think Lights Out is worried. They just got to play their game, play smart, and try to win the gun battles like you were doing in the previous round. Let's look and see what Faction is going to do. They're already getting on the burn. That's Chicken and Prince hiding beneath the stairs where he cannot be killed. Perhaps going to try to move out and revive his teammate. Prince, he had his knife out. This is not CSGO. You do not run faster with your knife out. He does go down to Profuse. Asserted control of the Bravo flag for Lights Out. But we're seeing Faction still alive here on the perimeter of the B flag over there by Ruggs. But again, the gunpowder of Lights Out is just winning the day for them in a much closer round here in round 2 for this map. but still within striking distance are Faction, as Jet puts down Jack. Two very extremely close names there. Follows it with a second on CEVO. Can he get a third? He does. The triple kill from Jet on A flag. That's some really nice defense just when they needed it most. And there's a fourth. But we're seeing Lights Out being extremely aggressive, going for that A flag, because they do know AB is easier to hold. It's going to be a Zerg push. 3 of them onto A. It looks like Faction has all but abandoned it. Perhaps over-rotated, as it's only really there. He is going to get a revive on his teammate, but they're actually retreating, trying to retake control of the Bravo flag. As all they hold right now is C. Bravo's nuked. They are going to take control of B, C. This is a decent position for them to be in. They're down by 35 tickets. Really putting down one. Oh, but he can't take down this second. They're going to get the revives, and this is not good. It looks like Lights Out may be able to... A couple of good nades onto Unit. Finally goes down. This is really coordinated attacking from Lights Out. You know, double nades to do the damage, and then aggressive pushing. Double revive from Winta on the B flag. And it's the first triple cap I think we've seen of this map for Lights Out, but it's not going to last long. B and C both flashing. C is noosed. Lights Out is kind of on the BC side of the map, but they're quickly getting put down on the Bravo flag. Faction needs this kill on Winta. Can they finally put him down? He's the last one there, but reinforcements arrive. It's Jack. And it looks like they're going to get the reses, they're going to get the AB hold, and this is looking like trouble for Faction. If they could have just got that wipe on the Bravo flag, that was a chance for them to get the burn and try to dig their feet in and get back in this game, but Lights Out just too fast, too coordinated, and for the most part winning their gun battles, although it's a lot closer in the KDR department this round. Seen Winta a bit of a peeking chess game with one, but he gets shot from behind on lower stairs. Protheus is there with his pistol. Did he get the knife? Nope. Cannot get the second. And Faction, Zerging, as I said they should, finally takes control of a second flag. It's BC, but it looks like Lights Out is looking for a connector push. 3 of them in Catwalk, 1 of them in Connector, and CEVO is actually going to rotate the seats, perhaps relieve some of the pressure from B. Meanwhile, the other 3 for Lights Out hanging out in the rugs and perhaps Pillar's area. A little bit of peeking there from Protheus. And Lights Out playing smart. They're biding their time on this push. They're not wasting their lives as they have a strong ticket lead. They don't need to be too aggressive here. They're in control. A calculated push onto the B flag from 3 is going to bear fruit for them, and they're going to retake A, B control. We've got one man from Faction, that's Chet, at upper B. He's in good position to help his teammates for a B push, but he actually gives up upper B to go straight onto the burn. I don't know if that was a smart decision. There were 2 of them waiting at the steps, and Lights Out holding fast as they need to. Really, I think Faction, I mean, they're in desperation right now. They need a calculated push here, a retake of the flag, and they need to dig their feet in, as I said, and hold on for dear life, because as it is now, they just don't have an answer for what Lights Out is doing. And it's not for lack of trying. I mean, I give credit to Faction. They've mixed it up a bit when they realized, you know, what they were doing in the first round was not working. It's certainly been closer, but not that close, as we see Lights Out jump out to a roughly 70-ticket lead here, looking more like the round 1 that we saw previously. Finally, Faction able to leverage control and take control of AB. We're seeing Front Wiper go for that A flag. He goes down. It's a one-man push. Not really a committed push because Lights Out is already taking B and being aggressive and going straight at A. Let's watch Winta. He's going to push onto the A flag. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Am I lagging out, or Winta? It looks like Winta's probably going to lag out. He's probably going to drop, so perhaps a power play coming for Faction eSports. As we see C gets neutralized, A is flashing. Front Wiper holding on for dear life at A, although one of Faction is on the outskirts. That is Chicken, but he realizes he is outgunned and outmatched at this point, because it's 3 men there for A. But wisely, Faction rotated to Bravo, which was open. They do have BC now, and this is their last chance. If they can't hold this round and subsequently this game is over. It'll be a victory for Lights Out as Jet goes down. We're watching Unit trying to get control of A, and I like this. They had BC, but being aggressive and going for the triple cap, as they are already losing Bravo. They can't get A, though, because Lights Out gunpower, too much. It's taken 2, or perhaps even 3, to one of Lights Out players to win the day on a flag. Is finally Chicken cleaning things up on the A flag. They're going to take control. It's going to be a bookend hold, A and C. This is not necessarily a hold you want. Lights Out knows that they're going to go for the A flag, as they've been doing pretty much all game. You hold B, you go for A, B, because that's the easy hold. Front wiper, a little too aggressive there. Should have slow peeked, perhaps. Faction taking advantage. And surprisingly, they've held on to this AC hold for a little bit of time. They're being aggressive, going on the B flag for the triple. That's Prince there. Looks like they are going to take control. And Lights Out, not really sure what to do at this point. They've got 2 guys at connector trying to make a push onto the B flag. They do put down 1 under the stairs. B and A are both neutralized. Faction only in control of the C flag, and it looks like Lights Out is going to take that A-B hold again. That's been their bread and butter this entire match. And it's bared fruit for them. There's an opportunistic frag from Profuse trying to pre-fire on the second. Oh, he guessed wrong. The telltale music does start, as this one is going to go to Lights Out, folks. A battle of undefeated has Lights Out coming out on top in convincing fashion. Kudos to Faction for mixing it up in the second round and keeping it close for about 75% of the round in the second round. But then, just like the previous round, it took them a little longer. I'll give them that. It took them a little longer, but Lights Out just pulled ahead. 64 ticket win after a 132 ticket win in the first round. Lights Out taking the match, finishing the regular season undefeated at 8-0 after defeating Faction, who is now 7.